Marriage is complicated.
I vomited on the spot. I was like, immediate divorce.
That's why they're here to talk about it.
And he thinks that burping is unacceptable, but farting is fine.
Nicole Pellegrino.
My thigh sweat is chafing together.
Caroline Crawford Patterson.
You're making it so difficult for me to do anything here.
Honey, we're home.
Cheers. Okay, episode 3.
Episode 3. I am Caroline Crawford Patterson.
And I'm Nicole Pellegrino.
And this is Honey, We're Home.
We need to stop doing that at the same time. It's cute,
But maybe they could just clip it from other episodes, like put it in there.
Oh,
Like there's got to be one time that it was fine.
Yeah, it's...
Because otherwise I'm making really awkward eye contact with you the whole time. Like, are we going to say it at the right time or not?
I know, we've never even talked about it. It just happens that we say it at the same time.
The same time. But we're making really awkward eye contact to make that happen.
We're staring at each other
on
the
cue.
whole time.
We're like,
I'm a zombie today.
I know, you literally did so much.
Your eyes look really pretty right now.
Thank
They're
you.
like very brown, but like in a good way.
Wow. Now I'm going to have to go home and look at it, but thank you. That's very nice.
You're not going to say anything back about my eyes? No. That's me in a comment.
No, your eyes are great. And you know what's going to make your eyes really pop is your Halloween costume.
Yes, which we need to update. I need to update you on, but maybe we won't do it for the whole podcast. But it's coming to life, but slowly but surely.
For a little bit of context, we're filming episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
We are getting ready to launch.
It's launching.
We're getting ready to announce at least a launch date. Obviously, we've got 2 episodes filmed. So the timestamp of this week that we're filming is pre-Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting really excited.
Halloween's my favorite holiday.
Yeah. So by the time you guys are listening to this,
it'll have happened. But hopefully not too long in the past. And like if it did, sorry, forgive us. But we're gonna be once we actually launch this thing, which is happening so soon. Obviously it's launched now that you guys are listening to it, but we're going to be recording like as timely as possible. So like when Christmas is rolling around, we're going to be talking about Christmas. You know what I mean?
No, we're doing it in the moment of time going forward, but hopefully you guys will appreciate that we tried to be as prepared as possible going into it. Like this was not like on a whim for us that we
It's strategic.
We've spent all this time building up episodes so that we could launch knowing that we had like a backbone to work off of.
Listen, we listen to the feedback. We're strategic. And then once we go, a psychic recently told me that this podcast is going to be big. I didn't even bring it up to her. She brought it up to me. And she said it's going to be messy at first, but it aren't all the great things. Mm-hmm. And then it's going to be big. So buckle in, bitches. Get ready.
Get ready. And I also have 1 margarita in me.
Oh, you're drunk.
I'm not drunk.
So you're drunk.
I literally had too much time between the last thing I was doing and this. And I stopped at Margaritaville because where else would I stop?
True. Sorry, my ADHD. What's the lip combo? You got to drop it for us.
Oh my God, what a good question. Okay, I have a Dibs liner on that I set in powder. Okay. Then I put a Buxom lip plumper liner on.
This is a bit of a process.
Yeah, it was by accident.
But
like I just was sitting there. Thank you.
Like you need to make a video right after this, or we'll just drop this as a video of your lip.
And
like,
then I
show your lips to the camera. I mean, you guys can't see. Well, we'll zoom in. They look so good.
Thank you. And then I did the candy gloss from Dior. Is that what?
Yeah.
Like there's like a brownish one.
I think so. Whatever the color is, it's working.
Thank you. I just found it in my bag.
That's the best.
Because if I put the lip stuff on, like the gloss on, before it's time, it's all coming off.
No, you've got to put it on about 3 seconds before recording.
Right. But I saw this girl set
with powder
her lips, and now I've
seen that recently too on TikTok, and I'm like, you know
what?
Sweater. Mind blown. I didn't know we do that now, but I guess we do.
No, but it helps because I do sweat.
Same. We're sweaty girlies.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Sweaty girls are the best girls, though. Like, if you don't sweat when you're doing something, like, a little nerve-wracking, not that this is, like, quite literally, I feel like I'm just, like, talking to you like any other day, but then it's not worthwhile. You know how they say, like, if you don't get nervous, then you're not going to be good? That's how I feel.
Or you could like just have a hereditary issue, but that's fine too.
Yeah, true.
You know, my grandmother
People
used to sweat profusely just vacuuming. And I would say, like, what's wrong? Mm-hmm. And she would be like, this is going to happen to you too. So you better stop commenting. And then when I went through puberty, I was like, holy shit, this sucks. Like, I would be in dance class and I would reek, but I'd be sweating.
Yeah.
And nobody else would be. And I'd be like, this is extremely embarrassing. I look so out of shape.
I don't reek when I sweat, but I am sweaty. Like, I'm always glistening.
Yeah.
But one thing I've realized about myself lately is, like, smell is a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
As we talked about kind of on the last episode with, like, dental care being like, if mine or my husband's breath ever smells, like, that will be the end of our relationship.
Right.
So I do everything to prevent it. I also do everything to prevent just smelling, like, breath and, like, body smelling. Like, I will always be strapped with a full-size deodorant, a Sol de Janeiro body spray, and I spray it in my hair. That's a pro tip.
The hair perfume is
Pro tip.
Yeah, that's important. I have to do that too. I my entire life, I feel like my hair just like held smell. Mm-hmm. And that was so frustrating for me. And I will like double wash my body in the shower just because like I do sweat a lot and I just get so nervous about like the smell. And then someone told me once that it's your like scalp and the texture of your hair that can be retaining the smell.
Yes.
And so I have like hair perfume.
Yeah.
I like do the scalp scrubber
People
a
don't
lot.
get it. People
Like,
don't-
yeah, I get really nervous about it.
Yeah. This past weekend at F1,
yeah.
it was 90,000 degrees. I was spraying 24/7, just spraying myself, bathing in.
Doesn't it make you want to shower?
Yeah. It like made my hair gross, but I was just like over spraying it.
Not the spray, but like when you smell. Like I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like I smell because I need a shower,
Yeah. Yeah.
even if you're clean.
Yeah. Mike showers literally 7 times a day. Our water bill's insane.
Girls can't do that.
No, my skin would fall off and it'd be so dry.
Wait, can I tell you something? When John and I started dating, I went to his dorm. Oh, wait, this is on one of our lists for today about dating a guy from college.
Yeah, we're going to get into the episode.
Yeah, sorry, we are. But you guys, I started dating John. I went to his dorm room and there was a stack of towels like 20 high. I was like all different colors.
This is also a reason I love John, though.
I was like, what's going on? No. You can, I get it. Like he played a sport. He wants to shower multiple times a day. I'm not going to argue with that. Mm-hmm. Tell me why he thinks that you're allowed to use a towel one time.
I love that about him.
No.
Because most guys think that you use that freaking same towel for 3 weeks.
It had to be like, and his mom would buy him the towels and wouldn't question it. And when I said to her, like, your son literally thinks he needs to use a towel one time, she was like, what? My mom had to tell him, I had to tell him, especially when we moved to New York, you have to pay for your laundry.
Would he use it once and throw it out, or use it once
and wash it?
And okay.
But he would shower 3 times a day, so he was using 3 towels a day.
In his defense, okay, that is serial killer behavior, John. But in his defense, when Mike showers and uses his towel, I will then feel the towel and it will be sopping wet.
Yeah,
like,
some
their
people don't know
bodies
how to
are
dry
big,
off.
and they're not doing it correctly.
Some people, because I also watched my sister recently
dry off.
Listen, guys, she doesn't know how to dry off. I watched her get out of the shower. I always wondered when she got dressed, her clothes were soaking wet. She didn't use a towel, right? Like she held it up to her like flat.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what she did with it. She didn't put it around her body. She didn't dry off. She gets dressed wet. And I'm like, I watched her do it. And I was like, you're wet. And that's why, because you're not drying off. And then I said, what towel do you use at school? And she said, no, I have a robe. And I was like, no, your robe is not your towel.
No.
But it's
no.
It's my fault. I didn't teach her how to dry off.
You've got to pat. You pat your entire body until you are dry, but still moisture in your skin.
So a lot of people
then
don't know
lotion
how.
Up.
Yeah.
And then robe goes on.
And I didn't know how to lotion until like last year.
Oh,
I never lotioned my body until like last year.
What?
Never.
That is what men do. Men don't use lotion.
No. Well, John uses lotion. He would like have lotion. I'd be like, I really don't need that.
Another reason John and I are the same person.
Yeah.
Mike won't use lotion on his body. He said it makes him feel weird. I cannot go to bed without putting lotion on. And aloe, recently I got a bunch of, I went on an aloe binge. I'm like a freaking aloe ambassador these days, I swear to God. Not paying me. I wish they were. But they gave me this magnesium lotion when I was shopping. And why am I talking about aloe on every episode? I did a whole aloe thing last.
No, it's because you were wearing aloe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, and they gave me a magnesium lotion. That shit puts you to bed at night. Like it is.
Oh yeah, I take magnesium every night. My acupuncturist told me to start taking it.
I drink it, and now I rub it on my body.
Yeah,
I'm covered.
I'm not even like I literally take it every night now, and it's fantastic.
Mike does too. We're obsessed.
It does put you to sleep, but you can't take the wrong kind because it will give you some crazy dreams.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say acne, and I was about to.
No, it gives you crazy dreams and like TMI, but it gives you crazy poops. Like it's pretty wild.
Really? I always have that.
Because magnesium is like, and I do too. So like imagine it being
1,000 times a day.
Imagine having, like you're woken up at 1 a.m. because like you will literally might.
That would be insane.
Yeah, no. I was like.
I pee in the middle of the night.
But then someone was like, you're taking the wrong magnesium. I did switch to a different type of magnesium and now it's better. It puts me to sleep. I don't have bad dreams. Yeah, the calm one.
Is the good one?
Because it's good for your muscles and your digestive tract. And I might have like diverticulitis and now it helps that too.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways,
what is that?
People don't know how to drive.
Yeah.
It's like a stomach thing. I don't know. I thought it was my endo, but apparently diverticulitis, which is like very common, and I thought it was like the gluten. Mm-hmm. My acupuncturist was like, you really need to get a colonoscopy for that.
I'm like not doing gluten anymore, and I'm so sad about it. I just can't. Yeah, when I eat it, I get terrible. Sick.
Yeah.
Like I feel sick.
Terrible.
And that's Mike's fault because he has celiac and I've eaten gluten-free with him for a while. Like still eating some gluten.
No, when you stop eating it,
it builds up an intolerance.
It does. That's what happened to me because before the wedding, I like did keto. I was already doing it kind of like my natural diet, but I just committed to not eating carbs because I already have an insulin like resistance and now I can't have gluten.
Ugh.
Or I don't know, whatever.
Miss it. Okay, so this episode, the big thing we're going to talk about today is friendships. We talk about our husbands enough.
We do. We're going to talk about friendships, but in long-term relationships or after marriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is so important. I've realized over my wise years at age 30 years old, I've realized that female friendships are more important than ever. Like you really got to put effort into them. Everybody says marriage is work. You got to put effort into it. Obvious fuckingly.
Can I tell you that like I don't know what that guy put in my margarita, but I'm tipsy for sure.
We both look like we're in a trance.
I can't. The paneling behind you is like blurry to me.
No. I was about
my
to say
eyes feel really bizarre.
That's why I'm staring through your soul because I can't look around your head.
Literally the guy, also I kind of got hit on, which was like so nice because he did it very respectfully. He was like, he took my ID and he was like, and he said it so nervously. He was like, but you're beautiful. And I was like, thank you for saying that. But like, he wasn't actually trying to hit on me.
Oh, it was like respectful.
You know, like it was like, I was like, thanks. You made me feel good about myself today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Fine. I told John the other day, I said, I feel so bad for you. You'll never know. Sometimes you see a guy being a certain way to a girl, but you'll never know if he's being creepy or not because it's an intuition thing.
Yeah.
That you just don't have.
Yeah.
So he'll look at me all the time like, was that weird? And I'll be like, no. Or sometimes he'll be like, that was so weird. And he's like, what do you mean?
No, I mean, there's a fine line between like creepy, you want to bang versus like just a normal guy. Like I got in the Uber yesterday or the other day, and my Uber driver was like, you have a really nice smile. And yes, at first I was like, ew, creepy, but then I was like, honestly, just like a nice thing to say to me.
He just means that like nicely.
Yeah, I was like, honestly, thank you so much.
So yeah, I'm slightly tipsy right now.
That's okay. We'll just,
I didn't do it on purpose. Like I literally didn't even finish my drink. Like I don't know what he put in it. It's that Margaritaville happy hour, and my drink was $8.
Well, then it better make you tipsy.
So
I mean, I get drunk off literally looking at alcohol these days because I'm just a lightweight.
Yep.
Okay.
So now that we've established where we're at,
we're going to talk about friendships, and you have an interesting story to share, which I'm so excited to unpack. And we have a listener email. You guys have been emailing honeywe'rehomepodcast@gmail.com with questions. So keep emailing those because they're so helpful. Should we go ahead and read it? You're drunk, so I'll read it. Okay.
What if my
Even though I have like dyslexia.
I'm going to read it with you so that I don't lose track since I'm so drunk.
Perfect. Okay,
Fantastic.
she says, I was in a friend's wedding last year and the relationship has changed a lot over the past few years, but I didn't say anything due to her upcoming day. Now that the wedding's over, I want to slowly drift apart and make distance between us. However, I feel bad that I've been in her wedding and that means I can never break that friendship. Thoughts? So basically they were in each other's weddings.
Yeah.
She was
But
in
it's
hers.
also kind of complex.
Yeah.
She did what she thought she was supposed to do, which was
Like she should have never kind of been in her wedding.
I don't but that's the thing is like you're right, she shouldn't have been. But I think the hard thing to do is sometimes the right thing to do is not only the hard thing to do, but the thing you really don't want to do, which is like if she was really feeling that way leading up to the engagement or leading up to the wedding, unless it was like a 2-month engagement, you know what I mean? Like let's say it's an average engagement, which is at this point a year at least. She should have felt like she could have had the conversation with her to
And
be
pulled
like,
out.
because obviously we're not getting the whole story. Not even pulled out, just to be
Right.
like, obviously we're like we don't know what it is. She said the relationship has changed a lot over the past few years.
We don't know why. This is very surface level. Yeah. Like I almost need more details. Like why has it changed? Like
Yeah, we don't know
who's
why.
drifting?
Like hopefully, because when you leave so much time in between that, even though I agree sometimes if it's very trivial, it's like or non-trivial.
Trivial means like like not
We like
important.
need a teacher on set with us.
No, we really do. But trivial means
If it's trivial,
like light, right?
if it's trivial, fine. In
Right.
her case, like she might be overreacting. But if it's a
Right.
serious issue, then they should have talked about it instead of letting like
Yeah,
distant
communicate.
time and go by and like more distance, and now it's more frustrating, and now you want to not be friends, and you just did it
Right.
out of obligation.
Right. Well, I also think that like it is okay to just like say yes to being a bridesmaid, be in the wedding, and then drift apart. Like that is okay.
I don't know how far she is from the wedding, but like in terms of when it comes to friendships after marriage in the first place, at least for me, and I've seen this with my friends, I don't take it personally, but maybe it's because I know I've been through it, is that it's not a falling out, but there is a bit of like pullback after the wedding. Mm-hmm. I think
I just like hit puberty. Go on. My voice cracked. There's fallback after the wedding.
there is a little bit with your friends because
Yeah.
everything, this is so natural. Even my most selfless friends, like everything is so heightened and it's about you. And then all of a sudden this big thing happens. And yeah, like there's just natural rebalancing.
You're saying there's a little pullback from the friends, not the bride?
No, from the bride, I think. I think the bride
Okay.
just kind of goes into her own world for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
And then
she's
it's like-
busy
and
with
you're
the
just figuring
honeymoon, the
stuff out, like-
marriage. Yeah.
As much as people say marriage isn't different, it actually is. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't,
Well,
I
she's,
don't know how to
like,
explain it.
focused on her husband now.
Right.
And well, I think I thought you were saying pull back from like the friends because I mean for me at least my friends were probably fucking sick of me after I think dead ass my friends
And
were
that's
like we
probably
need a
true,
quick
too.
break from you,
Right.
Nicole.
Like you
we
are
love-
giving so much to that person.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
probably do.
Yeah, I mean, the friends are probably like, okay, this was fun. Like, we gave it our all, being a really good, supportive friend to you. But now we need a freaking break. And that might be how she's feeling. Like,
Yeah.
she was like, and who knows, this girl, the girl she's talking about might have been a bridezilla. And that might be how she's feeling. She might be
Maybe.
like, listen,
then
I
if
gave it my all for you, but like, now I kind of want to be done with you.
Yeah.
Like, I just need more details. Like,
I
what
do
did the
too.
bride do
If this is something like back to pre-engagement, but long story short, like I do think that when you are a bride, you choose people that you believe are going to be in your life forever.
Yes, but some people
However-
don't. Some people choose people that have been in
Yeah.
their lives forever and don't take into account the future aspect, which they should. The future aspect, like
And some
are
people
like,
choose people that have been in your life for the past. I guess yeah, true. Sometimes you choose people that have been there for you for the past year. Like
yeah,
they're probably, you know what I mean.
but if you see them in your lives forever, then like choose them, even though if they've been there for the past year only.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like some people choose a childhood friend just because they're a childhood friend, but they
Yeah.
might be drifting. You know what I mean?
it's all very fluid. I think it's
Yeah.
okay. I don't think that you have to feel obligation to keep being like in that person's life because you were in their wedding. But I
Right.
think you do owe it to yourself and to that person at least to have a conversation with them.
Right. Yeah.
Because
It's all
obviously
about the
there's something going
communication.
on.
Yeah. She needs to get to like the why in herself and in that person. Like, why do they feel distant? And listen, like, if it's not worth overthinking, then like, that's fine. Slowly drift apart. Let the distance happen.
I do think that to some capacity, though, friendships do change after you're married. Some friendships, not all friendships, from the bride standpoint. So, like, also, she shouldn't feel like it's 100% on her to make that friendship work anymore.
Right. It needs to be on the bride's point, too. How do you think friendships change after you're married?
I think there's just room for friendships to change. Like, I think that after you get married, you 100% feel this kind of attitude sink in over you over time where you're like, you don't really care about the dumb stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I have other stuff going on. Like,
in your
you feel more secure.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, if someone was talking crap about me, I can't explain to you why, but like, I probably would care less. I'd be like, I have like other stuff going on. Like, I'm
planning a family. Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't really have time to care about what you're saying about me.
Right.
But it would also mean that if that's the kind of time that other people continue to be on, that like you're allowed to move on from that.
Yeah. I like a literal tactical way I think that friendships and relationships change after marriage is that like when you're married, I mean, even when you're engaged, when you're together with somebody, you and your significant other are kind of expected to do so much together, like your relationship, and you want to do so much together. You want to go to things together. You want to go to events together, like obviously going to weddings together, being each other's date, doing double dates, dinner dates, etc. You want to do that with your significant other, but I do think like marriage really makes it like, okay, these two, Nikki and Mike, are never coming without each other.
Right.
Like, so in that aspect, it changes. Like, you almost feel some obligation to like only do things that are like couples only. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And which you shouldn't.
But yeah,
like,
but like
you
with people that make you feel safe to do that.
Yeah. Like, but you know, like when you're married, like you get invited to do like double dates a lot more, and like we're always like, let's get the boys together, let's do like, but I think like so that can just like contribute to friendships sometimes severing, because think about it, if you have single friends that aren't at that point yet, they probably get annoyed. They're probably like, why does Nikki always have to try to bring Mike to things? Like, why? Which it doesn't happen, please. I do so much
but which goes into your point about saying like, it just goes into your point about just being happy for your friends at their stage of life.
Yes, I wrote that down because I was like, literally, that is such a good tip for. I honestly stole it from like Tinks or something. I feel like she's always saying that on her stuff. But it is so true. Like for female friendships, it's the hardest thing to do because I can get like jealous as fuck sometimes, but I have to check myself all the time and just be like, you gotta be happy for this person. If they're really your friend and if you're really gonna be a good friend to them, you've gotta be happy for them no matter where they are in life. Whether they're, you know, one of my best friends has the most beautiful, I feel like I've talked about this before, has the most beautiful house in Miami, the cutest little baby ever. Not that I can't have those things one day, but I'm not there yet. And I, instead of being jealous, which like at first, that's my first inclination, I'm like, no, I'm genuinely so happy for her and the life that she's built with her family. And that is just such a happier existence, being happier versus jealous.
Right.
Or on the flip side, I've been with Mike for fucking ever. I have some single friends that are all over the dating apps that are living their damn life, living it up. It looks so fun. Going out in the city, getting hit on by hot guys, getting drinks, that exciting roster life. Sometimes am I like, oh, that looks fun. Like, am I jealous? Yeah. But then I'm like, no, be happy for them. They're going through that phase.
Yeah.
Like, and remember, the grass is
greener. I always say that the grass is not always greener.
Yeah. No, it ain't.
I think remembering that is key number one.
Yeah.
I think key number two is effort, like an intention. I, for one, flopped at that for like a minute. But I'm so grateful to have friends that like let me come back to it. Like I moved away from all of my friends. And so it wasn't even just marriage. It was just like so many things at once. And I have so many friends that really could have said like she got married and then, you know, like we don't hear from her as much. And instead,
but if they did, then I don't think they're a great friend.
Right. But I think it goes both ways. Like I give that to my friends too. So like I hope for it kind of in return, and maybe that's wrong. But like, you know what I mean?
I know
like,
what you mean.
So
you're like, don't neglect me. Hello.
Well, no, like I'm saying like I give my friends grace, like when they.
Oh, okay.
If they need, you know, like if they're like into their own thing right now, they've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you don't love me anymore.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? So like I would hate for you to think that about me.
Right.
But my friends gave me a lot of grace to like come back and be like, I am learning how to like communicate with you guys all the time, even though I'm not seeing you face to face, which like the move thing is huge. Like when you move, you realize that like
it's hard.
There's so much more intention that has to go in to like being in a relationship with your friends.
Yeah. I have a friend who is so bad at our group text. There's 5 of us in our group text, for example, all friends from college. She's so fucking bad at it. We'll be like, did Taylor, I love you to death, Taylor. I'll be like, we don't talk about her behind her back. So I'll be like, did Taylor die? Like, what's going on? But she'll like come back in every once in a while. And don't get me wrong, we can all be bad about it. I'm suck at this too sometimes. So it's not just her. Just
I'm terrible.
First example.
And terrible.
She'll come in and she'll like send this long thing. And she'll be like, I'm so sorry. I've just been so busy with this, that, and the other, whatever. And we've never once been like, well, you know what? Why? Blah, blah. Like, no. We're always just like, Taylor, it's a text. I'm going to love you the same no matter what. Like, don't feel like you have to apologize. Please, like, we love you. We're glad you're back. Good to have you back. Yeah. But like, you know, it's not, I would never be like, you really need to answer more. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I'm saying something super serious, announcing like something huge, then maybe respond. But it's a freaking group chat. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like if it's urgent.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like just double, like,
yeah,
I'll double text. I think the second key though is like blending and this is just going to be like very real. Like, I think it's not talked about enough, like how much of a relationship, I don't know how to say this, but like your partner needs to get along with your friends and your family.
Let's talk about
and I'm not saying like marry somebody that sucks dick, but like your friends and family like him. No, but like
it's bit,
right, but like it is a huge part. Like when I think about my high school friend group, we all love each other so much. Some of us could not have less in common. It has nothing to do with how much I love them though. Like I love them with my soul, and like incorporating each other's significant others over the years and like as people have gotten married has been a huge priority for all of us. Yeah. And it has meant so much to every single one of us to be able to feel comfortable with each person's significant other. I don't have everybody's number. I don't text their husbands. Like it's not like that, but like I am happy to hang out with them. They're always welcome.
Well, so we need to talk about this, the relationship with your friends, significant others, and vice versa, like John and Mike's relationship with our friends. I agree. I totally think it should be very strong. All the significant others and friends should, like the ideal perfect scenario is that we're all hanging out, we're all doing fun weekend trips. From the significant other's standpoint, I think the significant other, aka our husbands, need to do everything in their power to make friends and family, obviously, but friends really like them. Like, I want you, one of the ways you can show me love is making my friends obsessed with you.
100%.
I also, controversial to your point, or contradicting, I think that Mike should have all my friends' numbers. And if they text, if I find out like you and Brooke are texting, I love that.
Yeah.
But part of that, I think, factors into the fact that Mike and I have known each other and are friends since college. And so Brooke and Mike at this point are brother and sister. They knew each other before.
John has all of my friends' numbers. I have all of his friends' numbers. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily have like all of my friends' husbands' numbers, but John does. Like actually. So like John does. I think that's a test for me where I'm like, did you get their number? Do you have their number? Like I should be able to say, can I get this person's number? And it should be my friend's husband. Like,
yes.
and he should be able to give me
That's
that number.
the hottest thing in
you know
the
what I mean?
world.
Like,
when Mike is friends with my friend's husband,
yeah,
fiance,
you should have the number before I have the number because that's how much
Yes.
effort you put into it. I didn't think twice
Yes.
about it because I can just text my friend, but like you should have gotten his
already
number.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you should be talking, honestly.
No, you
be
should.
talking about
Nothing makes
subjects.
me smile more when I'm like, oh, you're texting him or you're texting him. I'm like, great. Like
Yeah,
I
you need
love
to be
that.
friends with them.
And if you're not, the point isn't really that like, the point is that it's bad if you're not doing it. It's like there are so many different levels that you could be friends with my friends' partners and they're all fine to me. But if you didn't make the effort, that's why we'd be like, this is a red flag because I'm missing something here. If other people don't like you, like
right.
I am missing something. If you're not putting forth the effort, like you clearly, and this might be wrong to some people, but like you clearly don't respect me enough to like
No, that makes sense.
create a lasting impact among my friends and family, and like that doesn't sit right with me.
It's selfish because here's the thing. Is your husband always gonna love every single one of your best friends, men or significant others? No, realistically, might not. Like some of them might not have the best personality. I'm not saying all my friends' boyfriends and husbands are perfect. Trust me, but it's an act of love and respect for you if he's making that effort. And if he's not, it's selfish and lazy, I think, because
I agree.
You like we all just want to sit back and not try to schmooze other people. Like that's easy, but similar to how we do, I'm sure, and you do, I know you do, with like John's coworkers and John's friends' wives. Like I go out of my way to like become friends with the guy friends' wives, and I
always
and 9 times out of 10, I fucking love them all.
Yeah.
And like I'm not saying you have to be fake and like suck up to somebody who sucks, because not everybody in the friend group is going to have the perfect significant other, which we also have to talk about, like what to do when you don't.
Yeah, that's a problem.
But if, at least for us, clearly, if you're in a good healthy relationship, you're making that effort to be friends with especially the significant others. What are your thoughts though on like if John is texting your friends that he hasn't known for a while? That's weird.
Yeah, no.
Like if John and I know I joke about
if John
that
is
John
texting
is my
friend,
husband, but
like it's because I'm not texting back, so he's just getting to the point of making the plan, and I appreciate it on both of their facts that they like just jumped over me.
Right.
I'm like, thank you for reading the room without
like
even
if I
asking
could
me.
the only way I would
fantastic.
like just be texting John willy-nilly
is for
and
a
I love
plan.
John first I'm a huge like group texter. Like if I want to do something with you and John, I'll put you, Mike, and John in a group text.
100%. Even if it ends up being you, me, and John, or me, you, and Mike.
Yeah.
We don't care.
I'm a
it's
big
just,
grouper. But the only time I'm gonna like text John just one-on-one is if we're planning like a surprise thing for you.
Yeah.
Or like if you're literally not answering and I think you're not.
I only text my friends' boyfriends, husbands one-on-one when I am doing something that surprises them, just like you said, or they won't answer.
But like at the same time, if Mike and Brooke were texting about something funny that reminded them of each other or whatever, that would be totally fine.
No, that's
for
fine
me.
too. Because
they've known each other.
I just think it's
but
really
if John and
important.
I started, because you and I haven't known each other since college, that would be fucking weird.
You just have to think about the long game here.
I was like, this reminded me of you, John.
Right.
That'd be weird.
That would be weird. That's like a flirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like
Yeah.
because what really should be
picturing you
happening
and
here
Mike.
is that if it reminds me of you, it's something that happened when we were all together.
Right.
So like we're all gonna get a laugh out of this.
You're right.
Me
right.
icing you out of the laugh is just kind of cruel.
Right.
We should all get the laugh.
Or if Brooke and John were ever, fucking now Brooke and John are texting.
We literally can't.
If Brooke and Mike were ever, it 99% positive it would be about me, and it'd be something they'd be like making fun of me for,
no, yeah.
you know?
I still would
Which
want to be
that's
in that.
okay too. Yeah, they'd put me in it.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
like because
thing.
that has happened to me before,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of like, at least I can provide a laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's fine
Oh,
with
I love
me.
being laughed at. That's
But
like
I
my
do
love language.
think, like, ultimately speaking, your friend should like your partner, and your partner should at least respect your friends and like have their back on stuff. Like, even if like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it just is the way that it is, because you've got to think about the long game. Like, in an ideal world, you and your partner like are excited. Your partner's excited to go on a trip with your other friends because they get along with their partners or put effort into it. It's like they're not the one out guy, or like you want your sisters to like be comfortable leaving her kids around Mike and like
Yeah.
your
Well,
family.
and the opposite of that is a toxic relationship where the guy's like, you know what, your friends kind of suck, and then gets you to start seeing them differently, and then next thing you know, you're isolated. I think that's such a. I've seen relationships
isolation
where
is really
isolation's
difficult.
happening, and then it backfires because if let's say you're isolating your significant other or you're being isolated, then you end up having no friends. If you're being isolated. And then it backfires on the person who's doing the isolation because you get all clingy on them and they get turned off, and it's just a downward spiral because who else are you supposed to cling on if you're isolated from your friends? That's why friends are just so important. You never know what's going to happen in a relationship. God forbid something happens. Who do you turn to? Your friends.
Your friends.
And you can't turn to them if you shut them out and you've ignored them over the years and you've sucked at communicating and you've forgotten their birthdays. That's one thing I wrote down, like how to keep the friendship. Like, go all out for the birthdays. Send them a little something in the mail. You know, you don't have to be a gift giver, but like, acknowledge their birthdays. Try
Just
to get
care.
together. Care. Yeah, be a little thoughtful. Call them.
You have to be, I think you do as we get older. I asked my mom this the other day, actually. I was like, do you have any friends still from, I'm so close with my high school friends. I was like, do you have any friends from high school still? And because because she doesn't. And she was like, it's just life. And I realized that is actually just life. Like, I think that we have to practice so much grace in our friendships.
Yeah.
If we have any hope of like holding on to them for decades to come.
Yes.
Because you are in a relationship with them, but you are not in the most intimate relationship with them. So like you might have stuff going on at the same time that prevents you both from being there for each other at the same time. Or like sometimes.
Give them grace.
Right. Like you have to, because
life is busy.
Life is really busy, and it's only going to get more busy.
Well, and if you're one of those girls who's going around writing off friendships because so-and-so couldn't make it to your big birthday weekend in the upstate New York cabin because of whatever reason, then you're going to end up with no friends because it is hard to make it to some of these weekends. It's hard to it's just hard. Life gets in the way. And obviously as you plan families, as you get married, you have a whole nother, when you get married, you have a whole nother family all of a sudden. Your in-laws, hopefully you're close with them. You just have other obligations. You have work. Sometimes after a full week of work, you can't get me to go anywhere.
Really? You should just, it's like cool.
Yeah.
Like
it's
fine.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Still be there as, like, still show the other qualities of a good friend and you'll be great. On the flip side, though, like, I do have friends who make it to freaking everything. It's reciprocal.
It is. I have stuff like that too. Okay, so let's quickly, do you know what? Let's take a break. Let's do our ick of the week. Let's lighten it.
I love that.
Let's lighten it. Let's do our ick of the week. And we can do a good thing of the week after that so we don't get canceled.
Okay. Yes.
People are like crazy, Nicole.
I know. They're going to be like, they hate their husbands because we say they have an ick.
Yeah,
but
we hate
whatever. Okay. Do you want to go first? Or do you want
Mine
me
is like not great. But it's not
Mine's
great for
funny.
you. Like you're going to be like, this is stupid because you're going to agree with it. Like everything that.
I'm probably going to be like,
everything I say, you're like, I agree with John.
I know.
It's humbling for me.
And you find out we're texting about it.
Hey, John.
Okay. What is yours?
Last weekend, I was trying to tell John a fact about a Taylor Swift song. And he was drunk and he was so rude to me. Like, he dismissed me. He was like, I literally don't give a shit.
Was this when I was with you guys?
No.
Oh.
This must have been Saturday. I was like, excuse me? And he was like, I don't care. And I truly was like, you are not a feminist. You suck. I was like, you can't even pretend to listen to what I'm saying. He's like, I've heard enough about Taylor Swift. And I was mad for like 24 hours.
He's at his breaking point.
Right, because I listen to talk about stupid stuff all day long. The least that you could do is listen to me say something about somebody who won a lawsuit by strategically writing a song about it to use as evidence in court.
Like that's pretty care.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah, that is
Anyways,
cool. I want to hear it later.
That's my ongoing ick though, because he just like won't stop being negative. And I'm like, if other people hear this, they're going to have a problem with you. And now I'm telling everybody anyways.
John bullies Caroline. No, I mean.
John hates Taylor Swift.
John
He doesn't.
hates
He'll
Taylor.
sing Taylor Swift.
He doesn't hate
We
Taylor
were in a
Swift.
bar with Nicole, and he starts like bopping to the song, and I was like,
Oh,
"You don't
yeah.
even know this is Taylor Swift, do you?" Like
He
he
liked
likes it. Yeah.
He likes it, but he's not a Swiftie like you, and that's okay.
fine.
I ain't no Swiftie.
Yeah. Nicole's not a Swift.
I mean, I respect her. I just like her songs. I don't know her life.
Right.
No, I mean, I see both sides. He can't be mean. We don't like the meanness
Yeah.
about
Don't
it.
be mean.
But he had a little bit of alcohol. We all get a little mean sometimes with
No,
alcohol. Look at me
For
sticking
sure.
up for John.
Look
But
at
at the
that.
same time, John puts. That was about to sound so bad. John puts up. No,
Yeah,
if I
no.
know you and John, he entertains some stuff for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mike does the same thing. That's why I know this. That he doesn't always want to for us.
Mm-hmm. No,
on the
24/7.
regular, 24/7.
24/7.
So if he does get a little, but no, I mean, hey, it's still an ick.
It's fine. On the flip side, we're going to Colorado next week to go
Taylor
to visit
Swift?
my sister.
Oh.
No, we're going to go visit my sister, and the whole family's coming. And we're going on Thursday. And my sisters are like, "Why are you guys not coming on Wednesday?" And I was like, "Well, someone text John and be like, I want you to come on Wednesday."
Yeah,
Like, because
get
it's
to
it's
the
his work
source.
schedule that we're really like fighting against.
He can work remote.
Kind of. So I was like, the best chance we have, because he already knows that like I could go earlier because we already had a schedule conversation. Like I couldn't travel this week, but next week I can. And so I was like, best case scenario is that you text him like as his sister being like, my sister's flying in from Paris too. So like we're all going to be together.
She needs to guilt trip.
So I was like, best case scenario is you text him and you're like, please, like,
Yeah.
I miss you. Like, can
See,
you just
that's
come a
so
day
good that
earlier?
They have that relationship where
So
she can.
So
That's
she
what you
did.
want.
And like, I'm so sorry, John. He's going to listen to this. I'm terrible. Like, it was all a plan. Like, it was so strategic to make him
Oh,
feel.
and he doesn't know right now.
Yeah. No, he doesn't know. So
Oh my God.
he came home according to said plan and was like, hey, Carol, like, is there any reason that we're like not going on Wednesday? And I was like, no,
Ew.
like, do you want to go on Wednesday? And he was like, yeah, like if you like, you know, like your sisters will already be there. Like if you want to like book the flight to go earlier, like, you know, I think we're
He
like
fell
wanted.
right into the trap.
Yeah. And I was like, no problem. And I rebooked it this morning and I was like, done. I was like, such a sweet idea.
Good.
And but that's a non-ick for me. It's an anti-ick because
Oh, that's your anti-ick. Okay.
because I was like, you love my family so much.
that you answered that. Yeah.
Even though I went about it in a way that was like maybe not the best. But
no, listen.
you got to do what you got to
Whatever.
do.
You got to do what you got. You got the sister to. Jenna and I do that all the
Yeah,
time.
it's a tag team thing.
I go straight to my brother-in-law and I'm like, here's what's going on. Like we, yes.
It's
oh
a
my
tag
God.
team situation. That's my anti-ick. I was like, that's very loving that you were like,
Yeah.
let's go
That's really
earlier.
cute. That's really
switch-
cute.
Like
and
switch
like
your
it
flights.
is tough when they have to like work in the city and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, that was your anti-ick.
And
or your
ick, I need
turn
yours.
on. Turn on.
Okay, or turn on. That's a good one.
Turn on.
Okay,
and
like
turn-
that.
Okay.
Okay.
My ick is that mine is I was looking at my ick list this morning and I was like, oh, I'll do this one.
How many things do you have on your ick list?
like 3. I keep a running list though.
I know. I heard you say that last time, and now I keep thinking about it.
My ick, fuck, I lost the thing. This happened like a couple months ago or whatever. This is so Mike to a T. I asked him a hypothetical situation. I said, listen, if I got us a free long weekend in the Hamptons,
Right.
In a mansion with a yacht, all complimentary, the nicest champagne,
Who's
the
sending you a-
nicest, I don't know.
Who's sending you a mansion and a yacht?
No, literally nobody. But I don't know. This is a hypothetical. If like a brand decided to send us, but
Are you gonna whisper this in front of your money tree so that it?
Yeah, I'm gonna manifest the shit
Yeah.
out of this after this. Hopefully, this podcast is gonna manifest it for me.
Yeah.
With us, we'll bring you and John.
Which is why your husbands should like each other.
Yeah, exactly. Which thankfully John and Mike do. I need Mike to like talk to him more though, but I'll bully him about that later. Okay, so yeah, I said, would you rather that if I presented you with that, or would you rather go to the Italian festival with Louie in Hoboken? He loves going to the Italian festival in Hoboken, bringing Louie, our dog. Excuse me, and like it's like a crowded festival. It's so fun.
Can
Don't
you
get me
do
wrong,
that
but like
again?
you get a sausage and pepper sub, and it's just like a festival. I said, dead ass, which one? Like, be honest with me. he literally got this weird grin. He goes, the Italian festival. I go, you would turn down a yacht and a mansion in the Hamptons for the Italian festival, which, okay, you can sit there and argue that I'm
It is a green flag. Like, he's not materialistic, obviously.
Not at all. Almost too much not.
That's like so wholesome that it might be a lie.
That's
like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah, that's true.
It is very
Mike
wholesome.
Plays a little too wholesome.
He's playing
lately.
the game.
Remember Stew in the Crock Pot the other weekend? Stew in the Crock Pot.
Nicole, Mike literally stayed home because he was making a stew
that was
in the
an
crock
ick
pot
weekend
on Saturday.
that he wouldn't come to the city and hang out with us.
It was rainy. It was
tired.
gross.
But
it was so funny. No, because he said he wanted to cuddle.
Yeah.
And you were like, I don't like it.
No, that's an ick. That's an ick.
And I was like, I showed it to John. I was like, this is not an ick. I was like, this is the sweetest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Mike can be
and you're like, no
too
thanks.
wholesome sometimes.
Yeah.
And that is my ick. I'm like,
I'm Mike. I'm like, if I ever found out that John thought it was an ick that I wanted to cuddle, like, I don't even know how I would respond.
ew, don't want to cuddle
It'd be
with
so
me.
sad.
Don't want to cuddle. I mean, I'll cuddle. My love language is touch, by the way. But like,
And you still
don't want to
cuddle.
stay in and cuddle and put stew in the crock pot. Mike texted me when I was out in the city and was like, I have stew in the crock pot.
Literally, this happened.
Which, again, for any other woman would be the biggest turn on. For me, it's like, you can take your stew in the crock pot and get out of my life, because then
In your defense, sometimes when guys want to cuddle, it's like way too tender for my liking. Like, they're like
I need you to be a little
children.
harder.
And I'm like, it's too gentle. I'm like, this is like, you ever get the creepy crawlies?
Yeah.
Like, I'll be like, that
Not
actually
often.
made me want to like John will like lay on me like so softly. I'll be like, I'm squirming.
Yeah,
Stop.
get the
Like,
fuck
either
off.
do it or don't do it. Like,
Yeah.
that's like,
Then sometimes I'm like that. So it depends what mood I'm in.
Yeah.
You can never predict what mood
no,
I'm
you
in.
can't. I feel bad for them because they do have
Yeah.
to. But like,
Depends,
there is
like,
a
where I am in
fine
my
line.
cycle.
Yeah. You know what? That's what a great point. And I like to say to John, I'm like, I'm in my luteal phase, and I just expect him to know what that is at this point.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
We got to do a whole
But I'm going to
episode
stop
on it.
educating him. Like, if he wants to know what I'm talking about, he has Google.
Yeah. You got to look it
He
up.
can look that up.
So that's my ick, that Mike would rather go to the fucking Italian festival. Because that's a whole larger issue that we should do another episode about when we have way more time. Because I need you to aspire to want a yacht in the Hamptons with me. And that sounds so materialistic, and I sound so
No,
pretentious.
there's just a way to go about it. One time I did make the error of like having the, like being like, you want someone that wants a lot out of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made the error one time of referring to that as ambition, even though I know John has ambition. But it just was like the way it came out.
I know what you mean.
It didn't end well for me.
Well, we need to do a whole episode
Yeah.
on this. The difference between ambition and realistic the difference between delusion and ambition. Because I have delusion.
Yeah, no,
Mike and John have ambition.
I'm fully Delulu.
Yeah.
But that's fantastic for me because I get like
and it
brought back
works.
down to earth.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But I'd rather be Delulu, and I kind of sometimes I need Mike to be a little more Delulu with me.
Oh, yeah,
But then
yeah.
he needs me to be a little more realistic with him.
Yes.
But I think it's a balance. Me and Allie talked about this recently. We were like, we need to just merge, because her boyfriend's really Delulu, and she's like Mike, very realistic.
She's realistic.
We need to like merge her boyfriend and Mike and like make a new man out of
one
it.
out of them.
Yeah, so that we can both have.
But
So,
that's
whatever.
growth over time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
grow,
mean?
And you motivate.
I
each
don't
other.
want
We'll
I
talk
don't want a
about
guy
that.
that's too Delulu, because I think that's signing
That's
yourself up
scary.
for a really crazy midlife crisis.
Yeah. I'd be scared. I'd be
Like, if
terrified.
you're Delulu now,
Yeah, like how.
what does it look like after 3 kids?
They lose their minds later.
Oh my God.
That's
and I would
true.
literally have to be like, and I saw it coming.
Are they
like,
good?
I would have to
yeah,
know.
Yeah, no.
I would, it's like,
Wait, my turn on was
Yeah.
today. Mike sent me flowers before I left. Like, he's in the office today, and he literally sent flowers to the apartment, and I left before they actually arrived. He was like, did somebody text you? He like sent an arrangement, because this morning I told him I feel like we've been distant lately, and he like felt bad because he's been obsessed with fucking sports. Like, it's been it's been sports and then
You know
Nicole,
what? And I
which
know
also-
we're like
also an ick.
coming up on our time. John and I have been distant lately too.
Tell him that. And maybe he'll send you flowers. I said
I didn't
flowers
get
are
flowers.
cool, but I need action.
Yeah. I'll get the action, but I kind of want the flowers.
Oh,
Maybe we could just
we can
trade off what's happening
We'll
here.
love to trade.
Because
No,
we
I'll
have been
get the
too, but
action.
it's just like it's a really weird time of year.
Everybody's
but nothing is
busy.
worse. Like even when you're married, nothing is worse than like the feeling of like being distant because it's your best friend. You're like something
Yeah.
feels unsettling, and the whole thing with marriage is like it doesn't feel unsettling.
Well, and it's tough because they're your best friend. You live together, but you can still feel distant, and that fucks with you because you're like, how are we
Yes.
distant if we're
It doesn't
sleeping
make-
next to each other every
There's
night?
no answer sometimes. It's really confusing. Sometimes it feels like you're dating again and you're like, I don't.
Right.
It reminds you of like past phases of your relationship that you don't miss. Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
Yeah. Well, and I thought this goes into a whole thing. I thought we were gonna have like way more like just time together this past weekend, but we were with other people, which was fine. We had the best weekend ever. It was so fun. And the sports and everything has been a lot. We've been distant.
yeah.
And he felt bad. Send flowers. Now I need to see action, but the flowers are action, so that's
The
cool.
flowers are action. That's really nice. It's saying
Yeah.
that he heard you.
Yeah. Oh, he heard.
Which is
Oh,
like a huge
heard.
thing, just like acknowledging.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
He heard.
He heard. He sent me like a fucking paragraph text. I was like, okay, I'm
Good.
not reading this. You were sending me paragraphs.
Nicole was probably like, I can only take this from one person today. Stop.
It was a long text day.
Stop.
I was spending some time reading. All right. Well, we will unpack all of this and more
Yeah.
in future episodes. What is our email or our Instagram?
Oh,
that you
yeah.
guys need to follow. It's because the email's one thing.
Honey,
but the
we're home pod. I had to look.
Honey, we're home pod. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then email us any questions at home. I can't talk. At honeywe'rehomepodcast@gmail.com.
Correct.
People are going to be like, sometimes they're like this. And
No.
other times they're-
Well, and if we're all over the place, you guys have to deal with us because the psychic literally told me that we were going to
Yeah.
be at first.
Yeah.
And then after a couple episodes, it's going to like really pick up and we're going to be like very focused.
Yeah.
Oh, and we want to do games in future episodes.
We do. We do want to do games in future episodes. And I think that also, being transparent, we said that we were going to talk about we said the whole point of this podcast, which it is to like talk about the stuff that is very real and actively happening in our lives and a lot of our lives that are in the same phase right now that isn't being talked about. And I don't know if we underestimated this, but like in order to do that, you do have to be very emotionally raw with things that are actively going on with you.
We're going to get vulnerable.
Like even when you don't necessarily feel ready to do that. So I think sometimes it is a difficult thing to talk about. Like even talking through the friend thing, like there are things where I'm like, I want to talk about this and I'm a little scared to, and I'm a little nervous to, and because it's actively happening. And I think that we feel that way with like a lot of stuff, like whether it's going to be like an in-law subject or a friend subject or a baby subject or a buying a house subject or like whatever it is. Like,
we're going to tell it all.
so it takes a little bit of like,
It's going to be scary. We're going to have
I
big
think
like
the awkward-
vulnerability hangovers. That's the thing after this podcast.
we are going to have like,
It's going to like, we're going to need therapy after the podcast because we're going to be like, we just told the whole world too much.
we're both like very much open books.
Yeah.
But I think that
we don't overthink it.
No, but it's very difficult to just put it out there when you're actively going through
Right.
it because there are other people involved sometimes.
Yeah, you going to ruin some relationships, but whatever.
Yeah. So we're going to do it, but it is like a thing, you know?
And we want to have guests on. We
Yeah.
gotta have guests on.
We have
a
guests.
whole list.
We do.
We gotta have my one friend who is in an open relationship because it's so fascinating. I could freaking never.
I'm going to
but-
sit there like,
No, it's insane. We'll get her on soon because I like grill her about it. We've got to have the married couple who's been together for 50 plus years and
Yeah,
is
we
still
need them.
genuinely happy.
also, we need like Claire on. We have a whole,
Claire would be great.
me, Nicole, and Claire. I told Nicole this. I was like, we all have very similar Valentine's Day stories. Valentine's Day fiasco,
The
Is-
flowers.
like something takes over your human existence in terms of a reaction. And like, I'm not here to justify it for any of us, but I just want you to know, like, don't judge me because I'm sure we're all doing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just that's
If I have to shower cry, like that's kind of what had to happen.
on
you know?
Valentine's Day. Shower cry on Valentine's Day. Yeah, we're gonna have Claire. She's like Martha literal Stewart. She's gonna teach me how to be a good wife.
I know.
And then we gotta have like a marriage therapist. And then some.
We do.
You know?
Maybe after the like whatever series we're doing right now, we'll like top it off with a therapist to make us both. She can talk the whole time, and then we'll feel better.
Yes. Well, I also think like just what we talked about at the end of this episode, like feeling distant is such a common thing that so many fucking relationships go to. I know this firsthand because one time I posted about it on Instagram on my story, and my DMs have never been so flooded by people being like, yes, I've been distant too. We're in a rut, whatever. It happens to every relationship and every marriage. So we need to have a therapist on to give tips for that.
It's scary when you're young because you're like...
Yeah, you're like, we don't have kids yet. We're supposed to be like living our damn lives.
Especially to the point of what we talked about last episode of like coming from a generation of such divorce. I think sometimes, at least for me personally, if the rut happens, I start to get triggered. I don't know what I'm looking at here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what like my parents' first sign of divorce was. Like, I don't, like I didn't live their life.
I know mine, and it's like, it is a rut.
Right.
Which,
so that can be
scary,
extremely.
but there's always a way out of the rut.
There always is. But I think at first when it happens, like you do get a little pit in your stomach.
Yeah.
Like, am I supposed to be more concerned about them than I am at this moment? Like, is it more serious than I think? Like, just a lot of unanswered stuff. It's just confusing.
Yeah, very triggering.
It is. Okay. But that is
don't
all.
wanna end.
Yeah. We don't want to
you
end.
guys.
Yeah, that's so terrible. We love you guys.
I'm going to go drink some tea.
Yeah.
I'm not even sick. I'm just rusty.
No, you're just tired. You did F1.
I'm gonna go sleep.
You did the Phillies game.
You're welcome, Mike. No, I'm just kidding. That was so much fun. The Phillies invited us. I was like, we got to go. And Mike's sports obsession, I will say, has been giving me great content for my social media channels, and I've grown so much from it.
Really?
Like, literally over 1,000 followers.
Wait, fantastic.
Yeah, like sports. I'm a sports girly now. Sports influencer.
See?
Woo!
Maybe it's hurting your relationship, but really saving your career.
Really save, which, yeah, can't have both. No, I'm kidding.
Literally, can't do it all.
But we can, and that's what
this is how we're going to do it all. Yeah, that's what this is about. But we love you guys. Next week, we're going to talk about something else in the series. Yes. We'll let you know what it is before we air. But we're excited. And I don't know.
We'll hang up now.
We'll hang up. This is first. If we were dating, Nicole, yeah, that's exactly what it would be.
Love you guys.